Infamous Trickster Gaming.
What is happening, everybody? Thank you guys for checking out this video and welcome back to the channel. My name's Infamous Trickster, and today we're going to be looking at Amazon's newly released title, New World. Now, New World is an MMO, and those who aren't too familiar with MMOs, it can definitely be overwhelming. These tips will help you get started in New World, and you will get a firm understanding of where to begin your character's journey through the mystical, treacherous, but truly mesmerizing Aeternum. These tips will help you master the basics. Number 1. Remain in the low-level area and learn the basics. Your New World journey will begin in one of the several low-level starting locations. You will either be in Everfall, First Light, Monarch's Bluffs, or Windsward. You'll get a chance to create your character, and once you're done that, you'll be introduced to your main quest line and taught some of the more basic mechanics of New World and sent on some initial missions to help you familiarize yourself with the ins and outs of the game and improving your character's core attributes. My first recommendation, and I cannot stress this enough, is staying in this starting area for a while, as long as it takes, because despite its dangers, it is still a relatively safe place to learn new skills like fishing or setting up camps. There are also likely several locations near the beginning of the game where you can collect resources like fibers, raw hides, and wood. Making sure you stay in these areas until you're comfortable enough with the rest of the game will ensure success when you do decide to move forward in New World. So don't rush it, take your time. Take all the time you need. Number 2. Utilizing every single weapon type as soon as you're able to. There are no classes in New World, so you are not limited to certain types of weapons. There are a total of 11 weapons in New World: the sword, the rapier, the hatchet, the spear, the great axe, the warhammer, the bow, the musket, the fire staff, the life staff, and the ice gauntlet. Each weapon has different fighting styles, strengths, and weaknesses, and is based on certain basic attributes such as intelligence, focus, and dexterity. Since you are not limited to any one weapon in particular, I would highly recommend that you get one of each type of weapon as soon as you're able to, so you can try them all out and see which one fits your playstyle the best. The sooner you do this, the sooner you can begin to hone the correct attributes and also improve your mastery of this weapon to unlock abilities and perks for that particular fighting style. My final piece of advice regarding weapons is to find 2 weapons that complement each other well. For example, if you're finding yourself enjoying the starting weapon, sword and shield, maybe pick up a hatchet, as both sword and shield and hatchet scale well with strength. Or if you're liking the musket, a good choice for a second weapon would be a fire staff or a rapier. The reason being, the musket and the rapier both scale primarily off dexterity, but also benefit from intelligence. And the fire staff scales mainly from intelligence, so you're not leveling 2 completely different stats with no benefit to one another. Number 3. Understanding equipment and inventory weight. Like many other RPGs, New World sets a weight limit for equipment and items in your inventory. This weight limit on the number of items you can store can be increased, but that means you will probably have to try to sell unwanted items or keep them in your storage shed. Another noteworthy point to understand is that there is also weight restriction on the armor you wear, and you can see this on the vertical box next to your armor slots in inventory. The game adds up the total weight of your character's armor and shield and then determines your total equipment as light, medium, or heavy. Depending on this loadout level, you gain different advantages and disadvantages in combat. So for the lightweight, you do a roll dodge, for medium weight you do a sidestep dodge, and for heavy you do a slow sidestep dodge. It's always good to keep in the back of your mind what your weight class is so that you can be adequately prepared for the situation. And combat can be devastating if you're not prepared. Number 4. Making use of the stamina system. All weapons in the game use stamina, although most only use it to dodge. Melee weapons also gain access to a block that they can use. Some attacks and abilities also use stamina. The player stamina system is divided into two categories: dodge and block. Dodge is the primary use of stamina for most weapons. Dodging grants you a short window of invulnerability, which means that attacks do not deal damage. Stamina avoids it from being spammed, but it doesn't prevent it from being a good option for creating distance. Blocking costs different amounts of stamina based on damage taken. However, only the sword and shield can protect from projectile attacks. On lighter hits, blocking can potentially mitigate incoming damage entirely. However, stronger hits will likely break your block, stagger you, and leave you vulnerable for a short time while your stamina recovers. Many weapons have passives that enhance this ability to block harder hits, which is worth considering for PvE. Some weapons, such as the hatchet, have an optional range specification. In Hatchet's case, this can replace the block with the ability to throw their hatchet instead. Each throw during the application requires stamina. Number 5. Making your way across Aeternum. So the game New World takes place on Aeternum, a huge and fantastic island in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. It is a place full of missions, dangers, and opportunities, but unfortunately, they are all quite scattered, and you will also spend a lot of time traveling from one place to another. There are no mounts in Aeternum, so I recommend that you do your research and take advantage of the New World fast travel options as soon as possible. Using fast travel not only cuts down on the slightly more boring parts, but is also a great way to quickly level up in New World as you maximize efficiency by spending as much time as possible completing missions and gaining XP, and the shortest possible time for anything else. The fast traveling system is fueled by Azoth, which is the type of currency acquired in New World. Personally, I found the best way to make the most of an in and fast traveling is to find a central point on the map to make that as your main base of operation, and fast traveling from that point shouldn't be too expensive as opposed to going from one end of the map to the other. A good way to spot undiscovered spirit shrines is to get to a high place in the territory you're in and look across the skyline. You'll notice a blue beam of light going into the sky. These are spirit shrines. Another point to mention as well is based on your inventory weight, the cost of fast travel does increase, so travel light. Number 6. Learn how factions and territories function. Aeternum is divided into different areas known as territories, and the different territories are home to the 3 factions of New World: the Marauders, the Syndicate, and the Covenant. You can only choose to be part of a specific faction, so you will have to choose carefully between them, as they will affect which side you fight on when you start dipping your feet into the late PvP side of New World, which revolves around conquering the enemy territories in massive PvP battles. Thus, you can communicate with your friends which faction they want to join. The other thing to note about territories is that some are inherently more dangerous and filled with higher level enemies than others. You can see on the game map which areas are likely to be too much for your character by checking the recommended level of that area. Some sections of the map even suggest that you reach, or at least get close to, the New World level cap before trying to survive there. So always make sure you are ready before venturing into any new territory. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for checking it out again. If you guys found the information useful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, because I will be creating more content for New World in the foreseeable future. So definitely don't miss out on those future videos. So that's going to bring an end to this video, guys. Again, a big thank you to everyone that checked it out, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.